I'm Debbie and this is my husband Tiarnan and we live in Lucan. This is baby Fódhla. We're coming up on 12 years now.
We got our first home together in 2016.
After we got engaged in 2018 was sort of when we realised that, okay, nothing was happening, that we should really get help. I have PCOS, so I've always kind of known that there was a strong possibility that I'd need to have some sort of assistance. We went through the public system, waiting to get appointments. It was actually 2020, it was during COVID, that I ended up getting an appointment with them. They came back and said, oh no, your BMI is too high, we won't treat you. To my own GP a day or two later. And it turned out they had just transcribed it wrong basically, and my BMI was where they wanted it to be, but we were just fed up at that stage and we decided to go down the private route. Obviously therapy wasn't open at the time. I was looking at the different doctors and Dr. Kennedy was one of the ones that I wanted to go for. We didn't realise until our appointment came up that he had actually left at that stage to come here and start therapy, but we didn't know that. She ended up under Dr. McGatt. I needed to have some treatment for polyps to be removed. We went down the route of IVF straight away. I have PCOS, so it's such a risk of overstimulation if we did IUI that we'd have to cancel it. At the time we were quite naive. We were kind of like, oh yeah, you just do IVF and you just get a baby and that's the end of it, but that's not obviously how it works. We attempted to do a round of IVF, but only one follicle developed. Rather than completely cancelling the treatment and losing the follicle, we said we'd do kind of a last-ditch IUI. It was what Dr. McGatt recommended, so that's what we did, and it actually worked. I got pregnant. Then when I was 17 weeks, felt something wasn't right, and I went into the hospital. I had what they call it's a prolapsed membrane. The next day then our first son, Sean, was born. Nobody expected him to be alive or anything. I was looking at him and I was saying oh, he has a heartbeat. Spend those few minutes with him, and then Tiarnan was holding him then as he passed away. We went back anyway to Dr. McGatt after that a few months later and decided we wanted to go again. But then when we went for our scan, we found out that we had lost the baby. Dr. McGatt had actually left the clinic. At this stage, therapy was up and running, and obviously Dr. Kennedy was in charge of it. Got pregnant with our son Brogan. We were obviously really excited with everything that had happened, losing Sean, how we did. We had a treatment plan in place. I was coming up on 10 weeks, I think it was the day before I was 10 weeks. That evening we'd had a scan and everything was great. Babe went home, and that evening I had a bit of bleeding. I'd had some spotting before that, so at first we were kind of oh, it's probably fine, and then I stood up and there was just blood everywhere. We went into the hospital. From everything we'd brought in and everything we'd passed, he was fairly certain we'd had a miscarriage. As I was going into the scan room, the nurse was oh, there's your baby. And we were just what? I was 23 weeks and 6 days. I woke up to go to the bathroom and I just had this rush between my legs. And instantly I thought I was bleeding again. Before it was the same sort of feeling, but I looked down and it was clear, and I was okay, it's my waters. And then it kind of hit me, okay, it's my waters that have gone. We went into the hospital, and the next morning when the nurse was checking me over, she was yeah, I think you're having contractions. I started getting really sick really quick, so they had to do an emergency section. It was about 3:20. They made the decision, and Brogan then was born at 4:05. So it was very, very quick at that stage. Brogan, he was doing great. The day after he was a month, we went in and he wasn't doing too great. And the last set of tests they did, it came back and said that his kidneys and his liver and everything was failing at that stage. We spent the next couple of hours with him, and they were 5 minutes into doing CPR on him. They managed to get him back after the 7 minutes, but it happened again and again. And after the third time, we made the decision to basically stop. We held him and we said goodbye to him, and it was obviously really hard being back again. After it all, I know the night that Brogan died, we went home and I said, I think we should become dog people because I can't handle this. I can't lose another child. I can't go through this again. We obviously did wait, and then we talked about it. Then in the January, we transferred this embryo. I suppose took advice from the people that we trusted. I don't know that it was ever going to be any other decision than the one we took, because we both really just wanted to have a baby, and we'd been through the worst. So I suppose, like, what more could happen to us at that stage?
Despite all that, what happened and what we went through, it was still hard to walk away altogether.
Mentally, so much harder than physically it was. It was worth it because we got her. I thought it was really fantastic, really. Like, even I remember after Brogan was born, I messaged just to say, like, look, there's another therapy baby in the world. Like, I wanted him to be counted. There was like human connection at the end of it, and it was lovely to have that and know that like everyone was rooting for Brogan as much as we were. I know, I suppose, seeing that we now have Fódhla, it's very easy to say that, like, oh, keep going because you'll get there. But I think we also know that not everyone gets there, and not everyone is lucky enough to have a Fódhla at the end of their story. You're the only person who can decide whether you keep going or not. But if you do keep going, surround yourself with a team that you trust and that you know will do what's best for you. And I suppose that's what we found in therapy.